What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. As a lot of you know, I have 3 different channels. One of them is a reaction channel. And so normally all my reactions go over there, but they're normally funny reactions, right? This one isn't. This video is called Inside America's Most Violent Prison System. And this is by a channel called Tommy G. Go ahead and check them out. I'm not going to react to the whole video. You guys can watch it all over there. But it was interesting to me. Again, Inside America's Most Violent Prison System. A lot of times when I hear this, it trips me out, right? For those of you new to the channel, I've done 27 years in the state of California's prison and jail systems. And I've been to some of the worst prisons in California. I gave about 10 years of my life to Pelican Bay State Prison within the SHU, as well as B facility, briefly on A facility. So I have some in-depth knowledge when it comes to incarceration as it applies to California. People, a lot of times, they want me to react to other states, and I can't do it. I don't know their system. I don't know what their get down is. And so this right here gives me an opportunity to see what they do, how they do it, and give my opinion. That said, let's get to it. Yeah, we are definitely going to skip that. I didn't know there was music at the beginning.
All right, dude. You got locked down, and next thing you know, dude, all you're hearing is locker boxes banging. You're hearing metal on meat. Hit him with the fan motor. Stabbed him. This is hours on end.
Oh, that nigga beat his ass.
How terrible are the living conditions in prison?
Horrible.
Says, hey, man, there's a guy in the TV room named Rex, and he says he's going to turn you out. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I don't care. And he's like, that means he's going to rape you.
Sexual assault is common in prison?
Oh, absolutely.
So, I've spoken about this a lot. California has a lot of politics. And those who've never been to prison in California, and even those who have been here and are not, they're too small-minded to figure things out. California has a lot of politics, and a lot of people try to say it's based on racial lines and racism and all that. And I like to point out that those lines apply to everybody. They're not based on racial lines. They're based on factions. So for an example, the Southern Mexicans aren't going to let the blacks step into their area. They also aren't going to let the whites, the Northerners, the others, and vice versa. The blacks aren't going to let anybody into their territory. The others aren't going to do it. Nobody does. And everybody respects that. So not being able to interact with people like that avoids the type of assaults that they're talking about. Also, within all the just about all the factions in California prison, anybody going after their own kind in that manner will get whacked. Period. It's not allowed. So I like to just point out that it's the lines drawn on the prison yards in California aren't based on racist ideologies or racism at all. It's based on factions, gangs, if you want to call them, and it's all about security.
I help you.
Describe life and enjoy the prison.
I say it's dangerous. You gotta be on all your teams because this place, it ain't no play for the weak.
Tell everybody what you do for fun around here. See, you really want to show this? Y'all really want to see what we do for fun around here?
Black History Month, a bunch of white guys were on dog collars.
Every Black History Month in Georgia State Prison, that's what they do.
Which gang would you say was the most dangerous?
Bloods.
What kind of stuff would they do to get money?
Shit, rob you. Like right now we speak, somebody might be tied up or get stabbed. Right now we speak in Georgia State Prison.
About a year ago, I started seeing posts from prison inmates coming across my Instagram feed, and it was absolutely crazy. Some of these guys had Jordans on, some had piles of cash and pounds of weed, some even had video games in their cell, and it made me wonder how this was possible. But then I saw this. Guys posted up with knives, vicious looking.
Okay, so that piece right there, in my opinion, it's just for show. It's too long. That thing's gonna bend, or you're gonna hurt your wrist. Unless this guy is one of the 3 musketeers, that's not going to do it. It might go in a little bit, but it's going to bend. In my experience, cut that down into 3 pieces, maybe even 4. It's wide enough to hurt somebody very bad, but it's too long to go all the way in. and it's not going to be good for more than a couple pokes. It's going to bend. I don't know.
Machetes. Entire gangs armed to the teeth. So I started to wonder what would...
I noticed. That's why I keep stopping when I see these.
Vicious-looking machetes.
There's no edge on these things. There's points on them, so they'll go in. And I'm not here to critique, but I'm just looking at it as there's no edge on it. That's just different type of weapons than I'm used to seeing. Over here, there's going to be an edge. There's going to be a point and there's going to be an edge. That's double edged right there. So you'd have to hit both sides and make it so it's moving like butter.
Gangs armed to the teeth. So I started to wonder what was going on in the Georgia prison system. And once I went down this rabbit hole, I couldn't stop. I started learning about horrific living conditions, brutal murders, prisons with no guards on duty, extortion gangs that charge you rent if you want to be alive, smuggling, bribery, gang warfare, guards and gangs, and even the prison system covering up murders. So to bring you into this world, you'll hear from current inmates on the inside, former inmates, and retired guards. And today you'll see inside one of the most brutally dangerous places in the country, the Georgia State prison system.
24 years old. Finally got down locked up for some bullshit. Been locked down because goddamn shit popped the war popped off. Can't get no showers. I stink, balls stink, ass stink.
First of all, shout out to Tommy G and his channel, man. He got almost 3 million views so far on this. Came out 12 days ago. But this is really good footage, man. It is. But now getting back to this youngster, he says that a war jumped off and he can't get a shower and his underarms stink and his balls stink. The shower's right there on the wall behind you. That's another thing in California. If whatever jumps off and they lock us down, you are going to practice good hygiene. You're not going to be in the cell stinking. You're going to be brushing your teeth. You're going to get up in the morning. You're going to work out. You're going to bird bath. You know what I mean? And then you just get out the way and your Sally got the floor and he's going to do the same thing. And then you guys have lunch or whatever, right? But it's pretty strict here as far as you're not going to be stanking. And when you have a sink there, you're in your cell. So all your soap, your shampoo, your body wash, your deodorant, everything, your towel, everything is in your cell. And that sink right there is your shower. You bird bath, you pick up the water off the floor, you're fresh.
Armpit stink. I gotta take a shower there right here.
That ain't but slime busy, man. You know what I'm saying? Watch cold right now, but it kind of hard right now. You still gotta watch cold. What's up, my nigga? You smooth world, yeah.
How long you got those at, bro?
See, I got about goddamn 8, 9 months left, though. How many long you got, bro?
Well, they hit people what it is right here. You know?
Elbow. He's saying he got an elbow. That means a life sentence. The L, the life.
Bro, that is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Keep people out the window because both of them pop between the muzzles and the bloods and shit. I'm trying to see what's going on, you know what I'm saying?
I got shot in the spine, you know what I'm saying? Police shot me, and I had to learn how to walk again. 3.5 years straight, I've been goddamn paralyzed. So being paralyzed, I went through a lot of trial and tribulation, especially with the police, because police knew I shot some folks. You know what I'm saying? You know, I shot my PO type shit. And she was pregnant, but she really spoke on my behalf and really gave me a second chance and told them folks just mental health evaluate me and give me a second chance in life. And that really just a blessing, to be honest with you, because she really could have don't call the nigga if she really wanted to.
Per capita, the Georgia prison system is arguably the most dangerous place in the United States. For reference, let's compare to Memphis, Tennessee, which has been America's murder capital for the last couple years. There were 234 murders recorded in Memphis in 2025 with a population of just over 600,000. By comparison, it's estimated that in 2025 that between 50,000 Georgia prison inmates, there were over 300 murders.
Over 300 murders in 1 year in their system is bad. In comparison, California's averaging 28 murders per year. And I'm going to say something, and it's going to come off to some people the wrong way, right? But I'm going to try to do my best to explain what I'm talking about. When I see a prison like this, wild, no rules, everybody doing what they want to do, excessive violence, this reminds me of comparing a gangbanger to a gangster. I would say California is the gangster, and this system is the gangbanger. And I'm going to tell you why. When dudes are gangbanging on the streets, they're running amok. They're out there hunting their enemies down. They're not worried about what's going on. They're getting it, right? But then you get to that gangster phase where gangsters understand there has to be some type of structure to what you're doing. There has to be some type of organizational to what you're doing. And you understand that it's more important to make money and establish money-making opportunities than it is to show everybody how violent you could be. Out here in California, when somebody gets smoked, there was a decision that was made. People spoke on it. There was, why it should happen, why it shouldn't happen, whatever, right? And then it was decided, yeah, he got to go. And everybody, for the most part, understood what happened, why he got hit, and it served as an example for other people not to do that shit, whatever it was. Whereas in a joint like that, man, it seems like this reminds me of when I was a juvenile and I was in the California Youth Authority, which was prison for juveniles in California up to the age of 25, right? If you woke up in a bad mood and somebody said something you didn't like, you'd sock him in the mouth. You could stab him. You could hit him with a razor. You could hit him with a sock full of rocks or whatever you wanted. That's what this reminds me of. California Youth Authority. I see they're saying people have pounds of weed and they're making their money. I just, in California, I don't know what level this prison is that I'm looking at right here. In California, in the level 4s, you're never going to see them doors. Them doors you can't open your door. The cops got to open your door and they close it as soon as you exit. Or they close it when they're done. Hey, you got a chance to step out for yard. You don't step out, they close the door. That door ain't opening again. So it's unfortunate that it looks like in that state, they really don't care about their people. And if you notice, it's a lot of the same ethnicity right there. And I don't see a book in anybody's hand. I haven't so far. I mean, we've only watched a few minutes of it, but I haven't heard anybody talk about the studying that they're doing in there, the way they're expanding their mind. It seems just like it's a competition of who can be the biggest fool in there. It's a recipe for disaster for those in society when they reenter society, and it's a revolving door for that system. I guarantee it.
Which would make the Georgia prison system 15 times more murderous than the most dangerous city in the country.
I wouldn't wait for armed robbery, cops on the air, niggas snitched on me type shit.
Describe life in a Georgia prison.
I say it's dangerous. You better be on all your tens, cause this place, it ain't no place for the weak. 0 staff, no staff working. Nigga dying every day.
What do you do to pass the time?
Talk to my whole fresh niggas, kick up my partner when we listen to music and shit. You know what I'm saying? Hit the streets up, see what they doing. We ain't doing shit, we doing time, really.
Let me give you the bird's eye view of the Georgia prison system. Here, there are over 50,000 inmates spread across 34 state prisons, 4 privately ran facilities, and over 20 county work camps. Within these walls, there are well over 12,000 registered gang members, and they far outnumber the guards. Gangs in here run highly sophisticated smuggling networks to bring in drugs and weapons, they bribe and control corrections officers, and they run brutally violent extortion campaigns targeted on non-gang affiliated inmates, which are referred to as civilians. In here, you have to fight to survive.
I did 5 years.
Okay, and what did you serve for?
Armed robbery.
Where in Georgia did you go to?
Marietta, Cobb County.
And then you went to prison?
Yeah, I went to prison. I went from juvenile. Once I turned 17, I went straight to prison.
What was that like?
Terrible.
Tell me about it.
Shit, first year was rough. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody, gangbang, they all bloods, trying to rob you, extort you, stab you over some food. You either gonna die about it or you gonna kill them about it.
Were you in a gang before juvenile?
No, it's not a gang.
My name E-Man. I did 10 years in Georgia State Prison.
What'd you serve for?
Armed robbery and a bunch of other little petty crimes, but I officially went down the road for armed robbery.
How would you describe the conditions inside the Georgia State prison system?
Now, the conditions in Georgia State Prison are terrible, man. I know for sure that Georgia State Prison is the worst prison in the United States.
You went viral for posting videos of your time in there, right?
And rapping, posting things that I was doing.
Did you post that after you got out?
No, I posted while I was in there.
Did you get in trouble at all?
Yeah, I went to the hole every time.
My name is Cody Witt, and I served 5 years.
And what were you in for?
Armed robbery.
Okay. What was it like when you first got to your cell, and what were some of the things you had to do or prove yourself on?
It's so foreign to me. I mean, there's no structure, at least from what we're seeing, right? I don't know. There could be people in the comments that could get at me and say there is. I hear a lot. I hear a lot out of state, especially down their way and the East Coast, of how the Bloods are like it, right? Excuse me. And I don't know, maybe they do within their thing have protocol, they have some type of organizational skill. I don't know. But what I'm looking at is just anarchy. I'm trying to place myself like I'm just like, and I know there's no doubt about it. People hate dudes from California, and I'm sure if somebody from California went over there, it'd be on immediately. They're gonna test them, and it would seem that they would have eyes on him. I would think they would put eyes on him as far as whoever he moves in with, because. I mean, you put me in a state like that, immediately the first thing I'm doing is making a peace. Like this dude said, everybody has a weapon on them. Yeah, well, I'm not going to be without mine. But I see these dudes fist fighting. In California, that's so rare to see. Like, so you fist fight a dude and then, let's say he's 10 years younger than you. Let's say you're in your 40s or 50s. This dude's 10 years younger than you. He whoops you in front of everybody. He got people whispering behind your back about you, and you it doesn't make sense to me.
So my second day in prison, I'm thinking, man, this is going so smooth. It's awesome. I'm up there with my buddy from Gainesville, and he tells me, he says, hey, man, there's a guy in the TV room named Rex, and he says he's going to turn you out. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I don't care. And he's like, that means he's going to rape me. And I was like, oh, what do I do, man?
What do I do?
I'm scared, man. So he's like, look, you can use my shoes. And, he had the strap-on diabetic
I respect that he admitted he was scared.
They give you a sick call. So they were about size 14. So I put them on, looked like a clown. And he went down to the cell and he opened the door for me. I ran into a cell and he was sitting on the bed with another dude, started fighting. And once that happened, once I took off on him, it's like either I beat this guy or he beats me. And I don't know what he's going to do to me. It was over with. So I got up and I walked out. And my buddy from Gainesville said, and next time it's going to be knives. I'm like, yo, I don't have a knife.
That dude seems cool. At least prison didn't wreck him. I don't want to do too much more of this. I just wanted to get a little feel of what it is over there, man. And prayers to everybody that's incarcerated in that system. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of youngsters in that state will look at this and feel like it's fun and give themselves that self-talk that they wouldn't be no punk in prison and ain't nobody to do this, ain't nobody gonna do that. Well, how do you stop them? There's always somebody better than you. I'll say it. Hey, it seems like it is the most violent prison. Has the most murders. But it seems, look, all murder is senseless. Let's just keep it real. All murder is senseless. But, and I hate to say but after saying that sentence, but California, they take dudes get took out for the wrong reasons. But the majority of the time when somebody gets whacked out here, gets smoked, they had it coming. It wasn't just, hey, I heard that dude got a new cell phone. Hey, man, I heard this dude got a new radio. I want his radio. And then you go and smoke him. That's not going to happen. Anyways, that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.